6 Monday mornings before the world stopped, I put my own life on hold and powered down my laptop, placed my work cell in a drawer, and reset my home office to something completely different. Over the previous 3 months, my memory had started to glitch. Language retracted, energy tumbled, mood descended, health declined. I was holding on to the most superficial version of okayness. My entire being went into safe mode. My heart, my literal heart, was stuck in fight or flight mode, clocking a consistent resting rate of 120 to 140 beats per minute. If heart rates were miles per hour, I'd have a lot of speeding tickets. I almost never felt it racing because the sensation had normalized, and my outward demeanor read calm, cool, and collected. Everything I wasn't. Before accepting that a leave of absence for a full Robyn system reboot and burnout recovery was needed, I thought about every version of a 1 foot in and 1 foot out arrangement, concluding that sometimes less isn't more. It's just less. It was time to release control, just one more thingness, and let the world of work itself out. The last time I was on a leave of absence was for the birth of our children, a decade ago. We'd been so fortunate to have a healthy twin pregnancy, although high risk by its nature. After many attempts to turn those babies, or at least the one closest to the exit, from breech and transverse, a C-section was scheduled for 38 weeks. My last regular appointment was supposed to be an easy in, easy out type of thing during lunch about 10 days prior. Instead, I heard atypical preeclampsia. We're going to need to deliver your babies today. Medical things were said. I really don't remember much of it. Something about stroke risk? I heard the words, but didn't register the interruption to my plan. The way my one and only miracle of science pregnancy was supposed to happen. But 38 weeks, but their lungs need just a little bit more time. But all my stuff's at the office. I need to turn off my lights. I think I left my lunch on my desk. The crib is in the box at home, and I haven't packed a single thing into my hospital bag. My doctor, sweet and stern as she was, let me ramble for a few minutes, and sensing I was a flight risk, very clearly said that this was not a drill, and I was allowed to walk across to the ER, or she could call an ambulance. It was my choice. So I penguin waddled my 200-pound on a 5'2" frame self to the sparkling new lobby of the Prentice Women's Hospital, stuttering on the phone to my manager about the status of a spreadsheet and other nonsense she was not even asking about. All 3 and 1 of us could drop dead any moment, and I'm offering my thought remnants as a potential final sacrifice in service of not yet due deliverables that nobody was asking for. Soleil and Zia were born whole and healthy. Their well-being was our only focus during the newborn time. I didn't cross my own front door for about 3 weeks. Peak deliriousness was manifest in buzzing in the UPS sky and signing for a package while breastfeeding one baby and bottle feeding the other. Master multitasker, unintentional flasher level unlocked. Thanks to our local and extended family village, we built a new way of life. And I made my way back to the office, changed, forever checking for stickers on my butt. Before I left for work, renewed purpose buffered the sacrifices. I consulted C-suiters by day and comforted toddlers by night. Even then, John and I would plop into bed After putting the kids down and watch videos of them from recordings of nap time, gone rogue, and other delightful, ordinary moments. Eventually, a new reality with its routines takes shape. Every day, I flew out of doors to some other door, assembling myself, shuffling papers or Pampers, or stomping my foot into a half-off shoe on the way to the elevator, trying to will the weather not to melt the $1,600 of Girl Scout cookies I hadn't had time to deliver, FaceTiming the goodnight stories during work trips, signing school forms, patchworking schedules, wiping noses and tears, returning smiles, and trying to remember that none of it lasts for as long as it feels. My life and our lives have always had a current of change. A year before my total burnout, those waters started to flood. Collectively, our family of 4 had 10 health-related appointments, 6 of 7 days a week. That was before school, extracurricular, work, and family obligations were counted. I acted as the air traffic controller of the appointment orchestra for 6 long months before we ramped down. In parallel, my job transformed in every way, and I was excited, but jolted by the overnight change. There were the usual changes, work shuffles, squeeze summer in there too, then back to school, but not for long because there's a school strike for the entire last half of October as my work began the year-end peak. Oh, and my husband and I work from home, so our kids were there, and we were uncertain about school day to day. Does anyone know what that's like? For 2 weeks or 400 days? A relative had a medical emergency the week before Christmas. More work change, many new clients, new way of doing something, and days later, expertly teaching others. Have you ever walked past a stove and looked at the pot of water moments before the bubbles break the surface? It's hard to tell if the water is 4 seconds or 4 minutes from boiling. There's barely a discernible whir. That was me. I was twisted in so many knots until there was only a pile of fray. Christmas limbo, that time between Christmas and New Year's, when nobody knows what day it is, offered some reprieve. After several days of epic lounging around the house, it was time to get out, somewhere, anywhere. Our family of 4 casually strolled down Michigan Avenue. Somewhere along the way, my husband leans over to share a secret plan to go ice skating. We doggedly pursue our downtown options. John dazzles at internet research and secures a way for us to skip the very long lines at Maggie Daily Robyn, and within 10 minutes, we have skates. My hands seem to remember the little tricks for getting the right fit as I weave the laces across the hooks, keeping them taut, circling around the back and down again with the overage. The kids make their wobbly way toward the entry and grab a penguin helper device to help them stay vertical. The ice is packed with people, flying past, falling, selfieing, but we are here and it is real ice and there is no turning back. I skated competitively as a kid and wonder if my very changed body will manage now, quietly concerned that I'll be able to keep the kids and myself safe. I stepped out first and narrowly resist the urge to slip, steadying my ankles. Totally forgot about how much the ankles get put to work. Okay, I'm standing. I look and see that the kids appear excited and terrified. I smile the way parents smile when it's about to go down, big and wide, hoping that will calm them. I put one hand each on top of their penguins and instinctively skate backwards, pulling them forward, simultaneously shocked and aware that something familiar has activated. Off we go into the thick of the action, and somehow I can anticipate the pockets of open space and the sound signals skates make when someone is nearby and about to lose control. Our human formation veers effortlessly. Soleil and Zia separate to work out their own pace, and I circle them like a sheepdog, eyeballing the perimeter, keeping them on course. It should have been unnerving, with the newness and recklessness of it all in every direction. It should have been an overload of sights and sounds and temperature. It should have been a good idea, bad timing. Instead, I was only overwhelmed with confidence, peace, and pure cheerfulness. There was no space for fear on the balance of the blades. The kids loved it too, a little bit to my surprise. We skated 2 more times before the break was over and eventually lost the need for support penguins. As the lovely dizziness of Christmas limbo faded and January routines resumed, I thought about that feeling I discovered. And as my leave came to an end, the day before the world stopped, and energy began to restore, I journeyed out of the city limits to Glenview and procured brand new ice skates, glitter blue blade covers, sparkling black leg warmers, and a specialty gear bag. The person who helped me asked about my skating experience. I responded that I wasn't sure if I skated in the Junior Olympics or I just attended the Junior Olympics. She squinted at me, unsatisfied, possibly gauging my sanity. I sensed that and sputtered out, "I'm from Colorado." Awkward shopping exchange, 52,851. I immediately drove to the nearest ice rink with public skating hours, the Skokie Stadium. It was only me and the preschool age set with their tiger moms. On the mirror-like, just Zambonied ice, I followed my feet and wherever they wanted to take me. I glided, twirled, whooshed to stops that made tiny sheets of snow, cone-like power arc a few inches into the air. I felt familiar to myself again. And I'll be back soon. We all will.